Guys, welcome. Today we're going to be looking at the 1979 action thriller cult movie, The Warriors, directed by Walter Hill and starring Michael Beck, James Remar, and David Patrick Kelly, amongst many other fine actors, but those fellas in general, they're scene stealers. And I mentioned this was a cult movie, and cult meaning it's gathered a following, and I could only attribute it to the fact that this movie is cool. And cool in the sense that you get a bunch of other movies out there about gangs, and this movie is about gangs. But if you think about it, all those movies about gangs, aren't all the gangs pretty much the same? They're just different gangs. Whereas in The Warriors, each gang has its own identity. So you've got like a gang that walks around in clown face and wears like baseball get-up, or you've got like a gang of like black fellas that do martial arts. Each gang has its own identity. It's a lot of fun. It's cool. Let's check it out. The Warriors centers around a street gang of the same name who have left their turf in Coney Island to attend a midnight summit in Central Park, along with every other gang in town. In order to retain peace amongst the gangs, one prerequisite is to attend unarmed. Cyrus, the president of the biggest gang in the city and organizer of the summit, preaches to all the gangs the potential of uniting as one gang and running New York City. However, his message is short-lived as he is shot and killed by the leader of the Rogues gang, and in the commotion thereafter, the Warriors are falsely accused by the Rogues for his murder. Unarmed and on rival territory, the Warriors are faced with the monumental task of making their way back to Coney Island unscathed by dawn. Unfortunately, every gang in town is out to kill them, particularly the Rogues, who want to remain anonymous. In a case of life and death, the Warriors battle various street gangs and narrowly escape, but there's no hiding as their progress and whereabouts is updated constantly on the radio.
All right now, for all you boppers out there in the big city, all you street people with an ear for the action, I've been asked to relay a request from the Gramercy Riffs. It's a special for the Warriors. That's that real live bunch from Coney. And I do mean the Warriors. Here's a hit with them in mind.
This movie has many elements working in its favor. At no point does it slow down, lose focus, or get boring. It's got this constant drive because it's set in one night. So it's got the Warriors trying to get home to Coney Island before dawn. So there's this inherent tension because you never know what the Warriors are going to face around each corner. Are they going to be safe? And that really does work well for this movie. Secondly, it's set in the 1970s, even in New York City, even though it says sometime in the future, it's the 1970s, and it's got this real dirty sort of grimy look to it, and this environment adds itself very well to this film. And thirdly, the language. The language in this film is very identifiable with the Warriors, and it's just glorious. I mean, where else can you hear someone say, "Hey, I'm gonna bop that guy's head in. I'm gonna have a boppin' good time," or "Can you dig it?" Nowhere else do you hear that. It's very identifiable with this film. It's very cool. And I couldn't not mention this if I was talking about the Warriors. I bought the game in 2005 called The Warriors, so after this movie obviously, and it's pretty much the movie in video game format. And you get a lot of video games out there based on movies, but they're bad. This one, it's just got all those elements like I mentioned before with the different groups, with different capabilities, and just that aspect adds itself very well to video gaming format. Love the game. Sadly, I gave it away, but great game, great movie. And while we're talking about that, let's talk about the performances. I mean, you've got the lead character in this movie, Swan, played by Michael Beck. This guy was great. Sadly, this is the only movie I've seen him in aside from Xanadu, and I don't know. Well, I didn't like that movie in general. He was really good in this movie. that's just sad that, you know, nothing came of that. And Ajax, played by James Remar, who you will recognise as Dexter's father in Dexter, the TV series. He plays this tough, brawling guy who you just can't like, but he's on the Warriors. But I mean, when playing in the video game, you're always picking that guy because this guy's a nutter. And then thirdly, David Patrick Kelly. He plays the leader of the Rogues gang. I've always been an Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, so I recognize him straight away from Commando. And this is one guy that you don't see in films very often, but he always steals like a main line or something in a film. And once again in the Warriors, he's got one of the key lines that you identified this movie. So he's just tapping away at the bottles.
Warriors, come out to play. Warriors, come out to play. Warriors, come out to play. Warriors, come out to play.
Should you see the movie? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Let's be politically correct. Ma'am, sir. It gets a thumbs up from me. It's a lot of fun. It's not dated. And if you want to see the Warriors battle every gang in the movie, get the game too. That's a lot of fun. But watch the movie first. I mean, well, if you can't do that, watch and play them at the same time. It'll be glorious. Guys, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. I appreciate it. Keep doing it. I love you. Until next time, I'm Paddy McManus.
You hear me, babies? Good. Real good. Adios.